Hello everybody and welcome to Sexy Astrology for March 15th, 2019. I am just doing a Sexy Extra Intuitive Weekly for the moon. What about the full moon in transit? This is gonna crack the code for everybody that is like, oh my God, the moon is affecting me. And other people are like, oh no, what are you talking about? I'm having a great time. I'm totally relaxed. So yeah, these are full moon phantoms. The moon rules the emotions and that which makes us feel safe and connected. It is super important to pay attention to which house it falls into in your chart if you are feeling overwhelmed at the full moon. This could really reflect for you what you're supposed to be doing when you had, for instance, decided, oh, I'm going on vacation and I'm going to do this and this and this. And then all of a sudden you get to vacation and you're like, oh my God, I need to do something with work right now. Even though you made like 10 different promises and vows that you would not open the email or do anything for work, you are finding yourself working late at night on a Friday night. The moon is full. Where is the moon? Oh my God, it's in the 10th house. The 10th house rules your career. So anyway, I'm just going to read this little bit. So cracking the code. The moon is the fastest moving body in the solar system. It takes 2.25 days to go through one sign. And some people are more affected by the moon or the full moon than others. For instance, if you have a moon in an earth sign, you're less likely to be affected. And that is kind of true across the board because earth sign moons are the least movable emotionally, and they cleave to regularity and ongoing exchange. And they don't buy it unless they check the quality first. Some are deeply affected, however, and they may have a moon in a water house or a moon in a water sign, or they may just be like, have a fire sign moon where their support staff is a bunch of water signs. Usually the water signs are more sensitive is what I'm driving at. And air is sometimes, you'll have to call me for a reading. But what to do when you are deeply affected by the moon and its emotions? I would tell you to get some crystals and get grounded. I know that sounds really hippy-dippy, but it's true. It would work. Do something to respect where you are at emotionally if the moon is really affecting you across the board. Okay, so the business of the full moon in certain signs affect us more than others. Watch out for injuries to the head, for instance, if the moon is in the first house. Going through the first house makes people more emotional because it hits your rising sign. Going into Aries, there's a lot of ego, and I'm a Libra, so it's also important to say that when the moon is opposite your sign, it is really a good time to take a break and not get out there and charge. Going into Aries, there's lots of ego. Hitting the second house is very clearly mine, ownership. The second house ruling Taurus, and childish unwillingness to share. In Taurus, we keep an eye on our money. We don't want to share that either. Third house, we tend to look at stuff coming and going, lots of calls and letters, teaching. Gemini like to gossip, storytelling, okay? Fourth house, it's time to stay home. And clean or just curl up in bed and sleep late. Whip out your journal and write down your dreams. Cancers like to cuddle, so it's super duper important to give yourself extra time at home. Cooking, cleaning, sewing, your mother, anything that is nurturing. You have to also understand that the moon is ruled by Cancer. So when the moon is in Cancer, actually today it's in Cancer, there is a feeling of being deep in your belly and not misbehaving at all. being very good, no trouble. The moon transiting your 5th house likely has you dreaming about theater, dance, romance, playing dress-up with your kids, or in fact getting into a raging yelling match with your friend or your lover. How about just go play tennis? Leo rules sports. A good time to ask someone on a date. Yes, Moon in Leo is the terminal teenager of the zodiac. It is good to understand that it is a fashion show when the moon is in Leo. The full moon in Virgo, though, the 6th house, is all about tending to your diet and your emotions, working on healing connection, working and repairing nets, resetting the dial on your life, throwing out what is no longer needed. Most Virgo moon stuff is centered around the care of one another. Full moon in Virgo needs to really straighten out their work life. Service to others, nursing, research, etc., etc. Moon in Virgo, this last full moon, the moon was in Virgo, and it hit my midheaven, and I was like, ding, write an astrology book. Like literally, the midheaven is the beginning, is where your conscious comes into being, and it's what you're supposed to be doing with your life and your career, and mine is in Virgo. And the moon just went into Virgo right as the sun went into Pisces, so it was like 1 degree. And I really felt it, but I also felt really relieved because I understood deep down that I have focus. So my reset dial was validated. Very good. Yeah, so it's a good time to repair your nets, reset dial on your life, throwing out what is no longer needed. Most Virgo moon stuff is centered around the care of one another. Full moon in Virgo needs to really straighten out the work life, service to others, nursing, research, etc., etc., like I said. Moon in the 7th house is focusing on our partnerships and drama and the emotions with our loved one. Who's your best friend is also a part of this picture. Now is not the time to be afraid to show what you feel. Libra full moon often is a great time to care for yourself and loved ones in the spa. A great time to bring people and ideas together. Yeah, Librans don't get enough credit for this, but they really do see the totality of life, and they have a lot less ego than the rest of the signs out there. So when the moon is in Libra, Librans probably have a moment where they need to come to the fore and really bring it and bring people and ideas together. I have done this throughout my life. Just connecting people is very important to me. A great time to bring people and ideas together, have a party, relax and play. Also a good time for contracts and negotiations. Say no if you need to. And if you have a moon in Libra, I'm sure you'll have a hard time saying no. It is very important to learn to say no. Full moon in Scorpio. Okay, 8th house is a very deep emotional transit. I can attest to that because in June, when Mars is in Gemini, it goes through my 8th house, and I'm like, all my deep stuff is coming up. People are more inclined to sit around doing observation, okay, playing detective, etc., etc. Also, 8th house ruling death, rebirth, and power, but quiet power. It's not the overt, showy Mars in Aries or Leo power. It is a great time to meditate, Scorpio. Scorpio also rules, it's a great time to meditate. Scorpio also rules the ego death, letting go of the ego and other people's money, sex, intimacy through quietude, and most of all, secrets. Oh my God, how many people come up to me and tell me their secrets? I feel so lucky. It says Scorpio rising. So lucky. Moon through the 9th house, the house of higher education, melding of cultures, writing, law, higher learning. Here is where you might find yourself booking a vacation in a country all the way across the globe, or deciding to go back to school. Sagittarius loves to talk and argue late into the night. Their parties are the funnest. I will tell you, I always have so much fun with my friends that have Sag moon, or when the moon is in Sagittarius, Sag sun, Oh my God, we are just rip-roaring it up. It's like tear the place down, yo. Moon through the 10th house. I don't have to tell you that this is all about people's reputations and success and the public persona. It is all about doing good in this world. When the moon is in Capricorn, be careful of the desire to manipulate, however. That is the one thing about Capricorn that is not easy. They like to manipulate. They have a need for control or greed. The bottom line is that can kick those kinds of issues up for you. If your moon is in Capricorn and you have pure intentions, that won't be so much of an issue. You know, my girl who just turned 12, she has a moon in Capricorn. She likes to lie, and I am always like, I know you're lying. We play this game. I mean, I try to impress upon her that the truth is the way to go, 100%. Back to Sagittarius. The moon in Sag will encourage us to be honest. Yes. Okay, so when the moon is going through the 11th house, 100% dream big or die. Yes, the 11th house rules friends and friendly ambitions. Helping your friends move their mountains is the order of the day. Moon in Aquarius is a great time to get to the bottom of the issue in your community. And so the moon in the 12th house transit is all about dreams in the subconscious mind. It is a very good time for you to go on a retreat. Often our deepest problem or our deepest wish comes out. Moon in Pisces is a natural musician, and when the moon is full in Pisces, plenty of mystery is afoot. This is also a great time for parties and contemplating the totality of life. So I think by now you get the idea. The moon through different signs and houses can affect us more at different times than others. I will tell you to trust your gut in terms of decisions that need to be made that seem auspicious and deeply emotional. Look for the moon. Sometimes the moon will hit a personal planet or degree of like your north node or your midheaven or your descendant or your ascendant or your nadir. And you'll feel very deep shift. It's true, at others, not so much. Lastly, the moon conjunct your natal moon. When the moon hits the same sign and degree as your own moon in the sky, it is truly the very best time to pay attention to the radar. It can often reset the dial for the entire month. So if you pay very good attention to what is going on, and responding accordingly when your moon is conjunct your moon, you'll have a great month, right? Remember that the moon rules the emotions and that which makes you feel safe and connected. And it's always good to pay attention to which house it falls to in your chart. Amen.